Hi, I'm going to try to make this movie quick. I've had a lot of questions regarding the round tablecloth with the elastic. People want to know if you can do it square, how to do it square, how to do it rectangle. So I'll do the best that I can. I don't really have a square table here, but I can do it like a little demo. Anyway, the other thing is that I never really posted an after picture of my tablecloth after I made it, and I got some questions about that too. I thought that was awfully odd of me, but I didn't come up and fit it, and you sometimes have to wrestle with it to get it on if it's a nice tight fit. Here is my tablecloth on, and this is my fall one, and you can see, maybe because I can't see you, that there's a little bit of a lip here, which is why I measure it and add an inch or two. I think I said 2 in the other video, so that it wraps around. Some people don't have this piece, so it doesn't even matter because this isn't there and it can be too big and it'll slide under. This, if it's not accurate, is loose and baggy. The tablecloth is baggy because it can only go to this lip here. Okay, so that being said, let's see. What I originally say to do is to measure your table and divide it in half, and then add a couple inches for the overhang. And don't add too much because the tablecloth is too big. Now, let me get a square and show you how I would measure that, a rectangle, I should say. Okay, so this is just a sewing machine top, and I would get my yardstick. Okay, and what I would do is, I don't know if you can really fold it in half in the package. I would just go with full dimensions. In other words, this says that it's 15. I think square would be easy if it was 15 by 15. Now, it's also going to take into consideration if your edges are round or if they're straight. But anyway, this is 15 by 12 and a half. Okay, so if I'm going to fold it in half, we can do that. And I brought up a tablecloth to show you. So half of 15 is 7 and a half. This is really ridiculous because, you know what? It's going to be teeny tiny, but I buy whatever tablecloth they have, whether it's round, because mine is the smallest table. But if you're going to make a rectangle one or a square one, you kind of have to buy your size or bigger. So the tablecloth comes all folded up in pieces, folded perfectly actually, but it's in half and whatever. Okay, so I'm going to actually go measure my dining room table because you know what? It is a rectangle. I didn't think I had one, but anyway. Okay, so if we're making a rectangle, here this is. Now it's folded in half, let me see, lengthwise. So that's the longest, and then it's not in half this way. So here we go. So if I divide this in half, now you're not going to be able to do it. You're going to have to mark and keep marking. So let me go measure that, because this will really help. I think it's bigger though. Okay. 36, 46, 54 by 38. 54 by 38. And if we do the math, 54, 38 across, and 54 is up and down. So I would divide the 54 in half, which would be 27, 27, and the 38 divided in half is, you're probably saying this as I'm trying to figure it out, 19. Okay. Now, there's a tiny little lip on that table. So I would add probably an inch total in both directions, okay? So instead of cutting at 27, I would cut at 28, and instead of cutting at 19, I would cut at 20. That should hopefully give me enough to pull around. So I've taken, now this tablecloth measures a 52 by 70, okay? 70 being this in half. So if I measured this, the long end, which is my 54 is long, but it's in half, so I can only do 28 inches, I would take my yardstick and measure, oh, look at this, I can use this now. Okay, I can measure 28 inches this way, which is right here, and I would mark it. And I'd mark it all the way down, draw a line, and cut it across. And then the other direction, it is supposed to be 20 inches I'm going to cut. Okay, at that point, you can even, and actually this is the width of the actual tablecloth. So now you would fold it in half again for the half mark, because remember it's 38, but half is 19. Okay, and then I'd measure this from the center over to get 20 inches, and here's 20 right here, and I'd mark it and cut that up. And then you're going to wind up with a rectangle that's going to fit just on top of your tablecloth. You might want to do a little bit more than adding an inch in both directions. And so basically it's the same sewing. You're going to get your elastic like I did in the round tablecloth video. The only difference is I think I'd stop at the corners. So let's say this was cut like this, and I would start at one end, pull the elastic really tight, and end at the other, and do then the other side. The thing that just to remember is that you must pull the elastic really tight while you're sewing it, so that it shrinks back up and you're not just sewing elastic and then it's just going to roll all over the place. So the whole idea is to make it really tight. I don't measure the elastic at all. I just pull it as I sew. But in a case where the length is like this. Now, also, let me say this. If your corners are rounded on your rectangle or your square tablecloth, then by all means, keep going around, because you can round the corner when you cut it, as this one is, and just pull it along to make it rounded, and then it'll tuck right under. If you're not comfortable with that, do it in a rectangle, each side, and then the top and the bottom, and it'll still pull itself under and make the corner round when it's finished. So that's exactly what I would do. That's for square, that's for rectangle. Just measure it out. I will also show you, like, see how this gathers up. It stays all gathered because, ooh, this tablecloth's falling off, because the elastic is really, really taut. And this also is one of those, I buy most of these at Joann Fabrics, and I buy them off season. I absolutely love this tablecloth, but because it's fabric back and it's like cheap vinyl, I find like if a plate is too hot, it melts a little bit. If you kind of jam your fork in the tablecloth, you get a hole. And these are disposable to me. So what I do is just throw them out and next holiday do another one. I did, however, buy vinyl that I could find in the right width, which my tablecloth I think is 52, and it's really hard to get wide enough vinyl. But I got it at Hancock's, and it was a remnant piece, and it worked fabulous. I did the same thing as the round tablecloth, folded it and folded it again, and it lasts. I still have it. I was able to save that. It's really thick and no holes, no little ripples because it gets stretched out, or I guess you could burn it. But anyway, so look for that if you need a longer season. These, I've had this on since before Halloween, and I will take this off at Thanksgiving and start doing Christmas ones. And I change those off and on depending. Seasons like I put a shamrock one on for St. Patrick's Day, and that I'm able to save because it's only on for about 2 weeks. So I hope you like this. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm sorry this has taken so long. If you really wanted me to do a demo or a tutorial and show you how to do the actual cutting and elastic, I would do that. I just wanted to put this out there because people are really anxious to get going for the holidays. And if you watch this circle tablecloth, you can definitely do this one. This is a piece of cake for a square one. So good luck. Thanks for watching.